Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to do 4 Christmas and New Year's party looks with the Morphe 39L Hit the Lights palette. First, I'm going to use the Kiehl's Avocado Eye Cream to prep my eye. And then I'm going to use the Benefit Professional Primer because it's a silicone primer and it's really good to mattify your lids. I have really oily eyelids. And then I'm going to move on to my brow. I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown. What I'm doing here is basically drawing a border, creating a box, and then I'm going to start filling the brows in. I do have pretty fuller brows. I don't really have to fill it up much. But all I'm trying to do here is to bring them to a proper shape. Then I'm using the Ico brow gel to keep my brows in place. And also this is a colored brow gel. I think this is also in dark shade. I'm going to list it down below. But all I'm doing is to fill my brows in and also keep my brows in place. Then I'm using the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Caramel to basically prime my eyelids because like I said, I have really oily eyelids. Also, I'm going to hide all that redness and all the green veins floating around on my eyelid. I use the Sigma concealer brush for it, and I'm also going to use the same concealer to further define my brow shape. Then I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to set the concealer. After that, I'm just taping the outer V of my eye just to prevent the color from floating around. Then I'm picking up the shade My Type from the palette and using the MAC 317 brush to put it as a transition color. Transition colors helps you to portray the eye look as a nice blend of colors rather than just putting everything out there together. Then I'm picking up the shade Hookup and I'm putting it on the outer and the inner corners of my eye. This will help you to bring out the nice halo look. I use these two colors a lot in all of the 4 looks because they have this nice warmth and basically they just act as nice transition colors. I'm just putting more of that hookup shade on the outer and inner corners of my eye just to define the halo. Next, I'm taking a flat concealer brush and using the same NARS concealer that I used before, and I'm putting it right in the center of my eyelid, basically just to enhance the next shade that I put on it. This is the point where the natural lights hit your eyelid, so once you put the concealer and then the next shade, it's literally gonna glow. Then I'm picking up the shade Hot Date on a flat shader brush like this. I'm using the Sigma shader brush and I'm focusing that color right where I put the concealer. Now if you notice, there's a lot of difference when you base it with a concealer and then put the color on it. It's literally glowing and it enhances the color a lot. You don't have to stress about the shape of the concealer or the shape that you're going to bring out on your eyelid. Just go with the natural flow, and that's what we're achieving right here. Then I'm picking up the same hookup shade on the MAC 317 brush and I'm just blending this shade with the glowy shade that we just put, just to make sure that there are no harsh lines and both the colors blend really well on the crease and the outer and inner corners. Then I'm picking up a nicer, denser blending brush and I'm picking up the same shimmer shade that we put in the center and sweeping it across the eyelid. It's just going to make the look seem a little effortless and natural. Just blending all the colors with this gold color and go with a very light hand. Then I'm taking the Kat Von D black liner and I'm focusing that liner to be very close to the lash line just to give it a nice fuller look rather than making it a full eyeliner. I'm just focusing it really close to the lash line. Then I'm taking the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream and I'm applying it as a moisturizer all over my face. After that, I'm using the same Benefit Professional Primer to prime my cheeks, my nose, and my chin. I also have some fine lines around my mouth, so I'm making sure that this sort of reduces that look. Then I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury concealer, and I'm using an orange shade because I do have some pigmentation right around my lips, and I'd really like to cover that with an orange concealer. Then I'm taking the Estee Lauder concealer to conceal my eyes. First, I'm using the darker shade so that it's going to act as a color corrector for me for my dark circles. Then I'm using my fingers to blend that concealer. It just creates that warmth when you're blending with your fingers. Then I'm picking up the Lorac Pro Green color corrector and using my fingers to put that on those beautiful pimples that I have on my contour zones. Then I'm going to take the Too Faced Born This Way foundations in the shade Warm Beige and Sand and mixing it up with a little bit of MAC Strobe Cream and picking that up on the It Cosmetics Complexion Foundation brush, which is amazing, 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 guys. It's just amazing. I cannot stress that enough. You all need to try that brush. It's really, really good. It has two sides, one for the foundation and one for the concealer. So on the concealer side, I am just going to use that to put foundation on the inner corners of my eye, on my nose, on my temples. Those just typical difficult zones where you cannot reach with your normal foundation brush. It's amazing. Again, I cannot stress enough as to how much I love this brush. It's amazing. It's really good for blending, buffing, everything. Then I'm going to use my beauty blender to pick up any extra foundation that I have on my face. I cannot go a day without this beauty blender when I'm putting some makeup on. Then I'm picking up the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer in the shade 4W, and this time I'm using this lighter shade to highlight the under eye area. I'm also going to mix this up with a little bit of Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium 2. This is a little lighter for my skin, but I love it when I put it as a highlighter. I like mixing foundations and concealers. That's what gets you that nice glowing and highlighted look. Then I'm using the Huda Beauty, the new contours, the cream contours that she just released. And I'm picking it up on Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm just placing that on the contour areas where I have those nice, beautiful pimples again. And I'm going to take my beauty blender to blend it really well. I'm using the same cream contour and picking up a Sigma crease brush to put that on my nose. This brush really works well with the nose contours. I'm going to list that the number of the brush down below, but really works well. Then I'm going to use the same concealer, the Nars concealer that I used before, to cover my pimples and put some on the nose just to highlight the nose. What I'm doing is first I'm going to apply a little bit on the pimple and let it dry for a second, and then I'm going to blend that away. I also put some of that concealer on my forehead and on my chin just to give my face that oval highlighted look. Then I'm blending that nose concealer with a concealer brush. Then with whatever concealer is left on the concealer brush, I like to put it on the outer sides of the contours of my nose. This will just highlight the thin contoured area of the nose. Then I'm just blending everything with my beauty blender as always, just to make it look seamless and flawless and effortless. Wow, that's a lot of words. Now that we've given some time for the concealer to set in, this time I'm using a denser concealer brush to blend all of that concealer away. This is a very important step if you'd like to cover those dark spots on your face. Just put some concealer on, let it dry for like a minute or two, and then use your concealer brush to lightly dab on the concealer. Just make sure that you don't like push it really hard into your face. It's just gonna mess everything up. Then I'm dipping my beauty blender into the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I am trying to bake all my highlight zones. This will make sure that all of the contours are popping out, and also the concealer and the foundation is set really well. Then I'm taking this contour shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to just contour the same areas, but this time it's going to be a powder contour. Just using the same Kat Von D Shade and Light contour shade and putting it on my nose and blending all of that with a large, denser blending brush. I also put some lashes off camera, by the way, if you didn't notice. I'm picking up the same shade Hook Up from the palette, and I am just putting it underneath the lash line just to like make it look a little natural and not all pale. Then I'm picking up the shade Hot Date, and I'm putting it on the inner corners of my eye. After that, I'm just dusting off all of that powder that we put before. Next, I'm picking up the Benefit Hoola bronzer and I'm trying to bronze up my face. Since this is a natural look, we don't want too much of color on our cheeks, so I'm just aiming for a lesser bronzy type of a blush as well. This is by MAC. I'm gonna list that down below in the description box. I'm not really sure about the shade. I'm just putting that on the apples of my cheeks lightly with the Realtechniques brush. Then I am picking this nice highlight shade from the palette and I'm just highlighting my cheekbones. I'm also going to put the same shade on my nose soon. Yeah. Since I already put some fake lashes, I don't really like to put the mascara on top of it, but I'm going to use the mascara on the lower lash line. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverli Hills Ashton as the lip color and lining my lips with the Huda Beauty Spice Girl. I really hate the fact that Anastasia doesn't do any lip liners, but it would be really amazing if she does. I'm then using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to set all of that makeup to make it seem natural. That's it, guys. That's the look. I really hope you like it. This looks really great for any Christmas lunches or brunch, or if you're going out just to meet a friend. It's just amazing. It's natural. It just looks really great under the daylight. Moving on, I'm gonna do a nice pink look with this time with the same palette. I'm just gonna prime my eyelids with the same concealer that I used before, setting it with the same powder that I used before, and moving on. Then I'm picking up the same shade My Type, and I'm gonna use that as a transition color. Then I'm picking up this pink shade called Reckless and I'm gonna focus that on the crease. This time we're just gonna cut some crease, so we're just gonna focus all these colors on the crease. And then I'm going to pick up the shade Feeling It, which is a darker pink but with a little bit of shimmer on it, and I'm going to take that on a crease brush and focus it on the crease, and then I'm gonna blend those two colors. And I'm going to use the same concealer and a flat concealer brush to cut the crease. I'm not really worried about cutting the crease perfectly with a perfect line because I'm just going to end up blending the crease with all of the colors. So I'm basically just lining the crease with some concealer just to pop the colors after that. Then I'm spraying some mist on a flat shader brush and picking this light shimmery pink color called Euphoric, if I'm not wrong, and I'm just layering that on top of the concealer. Then I'm picking this burgundy shade called Rhythm and I'm taking that on a crease brush again, and this time I'm gonna blend all of these colors with this dark color, and I'm picking up the MAC 317 brush again and blending all of the colors well together. Next, I'm going to create this winged liner with the same Kat Von D brush. I'm just gonna draw the border first and then fill everything. I'm just making sure that I line my eyes all the way into the inner corner. That way you get that almond shape that you always want when you're trying to get a wing liner. After that, I'm going to pick up this pink shade called Feeling It again, and I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. You just have to make it seem a little natural by doing it. Then if you have any eyeshadow that's falling off on your face after you do your foundation, a little tip is to pick it off with a tape like this. Just press it up against your skin and then just pull it off. That way you get all the color off of your face. That's it, guys. This is a nice pink look that I tried to achieve. This is really fun for evening outings. Moving on, the next look that I'm going to do is a little sort of day and night look. You can use that two ways. I'm going to pick the shade My Type again, and I'm going to use that as a natural transition shade. Then I'm picking up the shade Hookup on a Sigma E40 blending brush, and I'm going to concentrate this color really well on the crease. This is going to be both my transition color and the crease color for this look. Now I'm just packing that color softly on the crease, more and more of it, but just layering it softly, mostly concentrating on the outer portion of the crease. And I'm going to spray this flat shader brush with the mist and then picking up this nice green shimmer shade called Insomniac. And I'm going to focus this color all over my lid, starting from the inner corner to the outer V. Just making sure that it gives a 3D effect with all of the shimmer that's going on. I'm just concentrating most of that color underneath the crease and making sure not to exceed the crease line because I want that nice transition from that bronze shade to this green. Again, I'm picking up the shade Hookup, but this time on a thinner blending brush, and I'm going to focus that on the crease. This time I'm going to go all the way to the inner corner just to define the lid color away from the crease color. And then I'm going to take this darker brown on the palette and I'm focusing this on the outer V, just to define the outer V away from the inner corner to give it that nice transition from a darker shade to a lighter shade. After that, I'm going to take a clean blending brush and blend all the colors together. Then I'm putting some lighter concealer on my brow bone just to highlight the brow. Again, since I'm wearing lashes, I'm gonna line my upper lash line, but again keeping it closer to the lash line rather than making it seem really obvious that I'm wearing an eyeliner. And I'm picking this green eye pencil by Urban Decay. This is called Mild Dew, and I'm just lining my lower lash line. Then I'm picking up the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, which I don't know the shade of. I'm gonna list that down below. That's it for the look. This is a nice effortless day and night look, which I hope you really like, and I really like it. Moving on, this time I'm going to create this bold red Christmassy night look. Same thing, but this time I'm going to use the cosmetics brush to conceal my eyelids and then set my eyes with the same Laura Mercier translucent powder. Same drill here, I'm going to pick up the shade My Type on a blending brush and use that as a transition shade. And then I'm going to pick up the shade Hookup again on a blending brush and I'm going to use that as a crease color. Next, I'm going to pick up this darker maroon shade called Serve Luxe on a blending brush and I'm going to concentrate that on the crease, starting from the outer V and making it seem a little lighter towards the inner corner. Next, picking up the shade Hot Stuff, which is a bit lighter maroon than we used before, and concentrating that mostly on the outer V. Then picking up this really dark brown shade called For Real, and I'm going to take a thinner blending brush this time and I'm going to use it to basically intensify the crease color, starting from the outer V to the inner corner. Next, I'm taking a dense, cleaner blending brush and blending all these colors together before I put the nice concealer to cut my crease. Again, I'm not cutting my crease here. I'm just putting some concealer on my lid just to brighten up the red color that I'm going to put on top of it. Again, I'm going to spray some mist on my shader brush and picking this color, this nice red color called Daring, and I'm going to concentrate on this color on my lid, starting from the center towards the outer corners and the inner corners. I'm also going to bring this color a little towards the crease just to make the colors seem a lot blended. Then I'm going to take this black color that's on the palette, which is a matte, and I'm going to put that on the outer V. Then I'm going to take the Sigma E38 brush and blend all of these colors well along with the black. I'm going in with light and circular strokes just to make this black color blended seamlessly. Then I'm going to take this metallic eyeliner. I think this is called Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay, and I'm going to line my upper lash line. I'm going to create a little teeny tiny wing out of it just to make this look seem a little dramatic. I also added the gold liner on the inner corner. Next, I'm going to pick up the same red shade and I'm going to use that as a lower lash line color. I'm just going to connect the lower lash line to the upper lash line with this red color. If you want, you can also add some black closer to your lower lash line, but I just felt that this was enough. That's it, guys. That's the look. I really hope you like it. I really love it. Those are nice Christmas colors, red and black. I really think that the gold liner added a bit of drama and dimension to it. I kept the lip same with the Charlotte Tilbury color. I really like it and I hope you do too. Thanks so much for watching, and that's it. I'm gonna see you next time with another video. Thanks. Bye.